So can we just deny aging? Can we live forever? Can we become immortal? Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Schimpff, and this is part of a continuing series on aging gracefully. And today I want to continue on this topic of, is it possible, would it be possible, to push past an aging limit of that many scientists believe is probably about 115 to 120 years? Could we push way past that? And there are a lot of investigators that work at this. I'm going to review one of them with you, and one concept which is called telomere reconstitution. Do you recall that telomeres are those little end pieces on the chromosome, kind of like the end of a shoelace, you know, that little protective cap. And as we age, every time a cell divides, that little piece of the cap goes away. It starts out at conception at around 15,000 bases, and by the time we're born, because there's been a lot of cell division, we're down to about 10. By the time we die, we're down to about 5,000. I said 10, I meant 10,000, and then down to about 5,000. So there is an enzyme called telomerase that cells make, particularly when we're very young, and that rejuvenates, replenishes the telomere. But that enzyme production goes down over our lifetime. So the idea is, could we up the telomerase production and thereby either lengthen our telomeres or at least slow or stop the process of them getting shorter? So that's the idea. So to find the gene for telomerase, and in this experiment I'm going to tell you about, it was put into a virus, which they call the vector. And that vector, then, they take human cells and get the virus to infect the human cells. And whether that's by injecting the virus into the body or doing it outside and then putting the cells back in, the idea then is that now the cells will all make more telomerase, and the telomeres will at least not shorten and hopefully grow again. So there is a lady named Elizabeth Parrish, and she has a company called BioViva that she's the CEO of, and she was her own guinea pig, if I can use that term. So they took blood from her, looked at the white blood cells, measured her length of her telomeres, and then injected the virus with the telomerase gene, and waited 6 months and measured it again. And on the next diagram here, you'll see that she was about 44 years old at the time, and in the beginning, she had 6,710 base pairs on her telomerase. But 6 months later, after this treatment, it was up to 7,333, which she says suggests that she's now, in effect, 20 years younger, or at least those cells are 20 years younger. So that's experiment one, and they're continuing to do this and do it and try and improve the system. But it raises an important question: should we live indefinitely? Certainly, the technologies are there to do some very interesting, exciting possibilities. If we could live healthy, certainly huge medical savings. But the other side of that is maybe we just be pushing it off until finally we get to a point that we get these diseases and we die. It does raise some ethical questions of philosophy, if you will. Some people would say, gee, I'm not sure we should be doing this sort of thing. Do we have the right, the moral right, to interfere in the process of our bodies? Sure, it's great to prevent disease or treat disease, but we're really getting into a fundamental issue here. On the other side of it, of course, people will say, well, wait a minute, we are intelligent beings and we have not only the right, but maybe the obligation to try and understand how to help us live longer. So next time, I'm going to have a few concluding thoughts on this whole concept of aging gracefully.